VM Underground got started about 6 years ago, if you ask Theron. Officially with sponsors, it was 4 years ago at the Thirsty Bear. It's just been a community event. The whole goal was just to do something different and not do the same old marketing events that people are used to, where you have to give out your phone number and your email and they're going to spam you to death afterwards. It's purely kind of a new type of event, and everyone comes, they have a great time. It's a huge networking event. The sponsors are free to work it the way they want with Twitter and Facebook and the blogs and videos and whatnot. So it really is what you make of it as a sponsor, and I think our 4-year history of continual growth has kind of proven that it's one of the premier party events here to be a part of. Case in point, the last 2 years we've given out a mass registration, basically. We'll telegraph it over the blogs and over Twitter. We'll say we're going to have 450 tickets available on certain time, certain date. Last year we sold out in 5 minutes, and it was like 350 tickets. This year we had 450 tickets available. They were sold out in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. It's kind of an incredible deal, and people get VM Underground fever about it. They just freak out. They order a bunch for their friends, and I don't know. It's been fun to be a part of it. It's a lot of work, but it's kind of like being a parent. Kids are a lot of work. Sometimes you want to, strangle them, but it's your kid, and I can't imagine giving it up. So, my favorite part of the course was the vSphere replication feature. In the past, you had to rely on expensive storage vendor replication, so either a left-hand or a Compellent, an Ecologic, an EMC, and I don't want to say that those solutions are unattainable for many companies, but for a small business, it can be kind of a big capital outlay to put down for a SAN. With vSphere replication, you don't need a SAN. You can use local storage. You can use some kind of unsupported SAN that doesn't work with SRM, which could be a lot cheaper, and maybe just what you have in-house, and you could still get the benefits of a top-notch virtualized disaster recovery plan. So I guess that was the most fun I had teaching with the course, and is actually one of the first ways I presented SRM, which was different than the last SRM course we did, in which we only had one type of storage replication, which was at the storage array level. So this year, I figured folks that are new to the product, we might as well dive in with this new feature, and then especially if you're an old hat at SRM, you want to learn the new stuff before you learn about array replication, which you probably already know. So I think that's neat and innovative. I think it's kind of scary if you're a storage vendor, because it's letting VMware take more of the thunder, and taking away some of the value that storage vendors provide, especially at the small level, at the SMB level. Why would someone do something crazy like running a 50-kilometer race through the mountains of Marin County? So my wife started training for a 5K last year in about April, and at this time it was kind of one of my cyclical couch potato phases, and I felt like a complete slob. So while she was getting ready to train, I decided to go out and start running a little bit and get back into shape. And then I read the book Born to Run, and they talked a lot about ultra marathon trail running, and it just seemed really like the ultimate challenge. And I kept adding mileage during this period just for no reason. It was kind of the total Forrest Gump moment. And I had no plans to do a race or anything like that. And then last October, I attempted a trail run of 33 miles. And I had let's say, ultra running exuberance syndrome. Basically, I ran too much and my knee gave out on me, and I had to pull out of the race. I wasn't ready to tackle something that big at that time. So once I got recovered, I started running again through the winter. We had a mild winter this year, so I had a lot of miles in. And my wife and I went out to Sonoma Valley for a spring break vacation, and we sought out some of the trails in that area. And where we're from in Normal, Illinois, it is the flattest farm ground you can find in America. It's beautiful, but it ain't Northern California. And when we were out here running in the trails, it's just beautiful, and just fell in love with it. And once I got back, I'm like, well, I know I'm going to VMworld. Maybe there's a trail run out there the Saturday before. So I found the Headlands 50K. I signed up, and I went this weekend, and same thing happened as last year when I was training. I had a knee issue flare up, but I caught it early enough where I was able to rest for 3 weeks, and I went in with 3 weeks of no training and just gutted it out, and it was awesome. I planned on finishing in under 10 hours. That was the goal, and I ended up being able to finish in 7 hours 41 minutes, and I ran quite a bit of it, and it was awesome feeling finishing. But not sure if it's the best idea, because I have been hobbling around like an old man at VMworld this year. I almost need a cane or one of those battery-powered carts, because I can't walk. But I'm good enough now. I feel like I'll probably be doing another one. So, what's my favorite beer? It's a difficult question to answer. My favorite beer is probably one that I've brewed myself, and it's fresh, and I've nailed it. So there's nothing better than fresh beer, and if all you can get is a local craft brewery that's close to you, then great, that's what you can do. But if you're ever interested in brewing your own beer, let me know. I could help you with some tips. But that is absolutely some of the best beer you'll ever taste. Is if you get it right, and you're clean in your preparation, and you've made a few mistakes, so you learn how to do it right. But fresh beer is the way to go. So, but if I had to commit to a label, I'm just gonna have to say Pliny the Elder. I know it's kind of a typical thing, but Pliny the Elder, if you don't know, is a double IPA out of Russian River Brewing Company. And Train Signal had a little event for us last night, actually, and took a number of us out to Russian River Brewing Company, and we had an awesome time, and we got to taste Pliny the Elder direct from its source, so it was awesome. Beer is, in the beginning, sort of a living organism. It's created from yeast, and yeast and sometimes bacteria if you're talking about sour beers, and they all have a perfect time to be drank. If you drink them too early, they won't be right, they won't be fully fermented, they might have some off flavors. But if you get them at the correct time, it's just ideal. If you wait too long, those flavor profiles may have changed and disappeared from the beer, especially in the case of something like an Indian Pale Ale or an IPA, which use a lot of hops. Those essential oils from the hop that give it its unique hoppy, citrusy flavor, those start to break down over time. So the beer won't taste as good later on, or it'll taste different. So fresh beer is the way to go. Now, if you have a beer that's meant to be aged, like a really big, heavy Doppelbock or a Belgian triple, that's a different story. But even then, they'll have a shelf life that you don't want to probably go beyond.